So apparently, Atlanta just turned into a soap opera written by Zeus Network on steroids because Tiny's secret wedding just leaked and T.I.'s reputation. Baby, it's hanging on life support. The man who once called himself King of the South is now looking more like the mayor of Heartbreak City, and the streets can't stop talking. Word on the digital curb is that Tiny didn't just sneak off for a girls' trip. She said I do behind closed doors while T.I. was busy posting motivational quotes about loyalty. Yeah, loyalty, the same thing that apparently missed the wedding invitation. Fans are calling it the biggest betrayal since Tristan Thompson thought he was. Slick, and let's be honest, this makes the Kardashians look like saints. Social media detectives are already piecing together the clues like it's an episode of CSI Atlanta. There are leaked pictures, blurred faces, and enough tears to fill a Versace champagne glass. Some say Tiny played chess while T.I. was busy playing podcasts. Others claim it's all revenge for years of humiliation. But the real question is, how did one secret ceremony manage to shatter one of hip-hop's longest-running power couples? Oh, buckle up, this ride gets messy. It all started like every celebrity fairy tale that eventually turns into a scandal with love, luxury, and way too many people pretending everything's fine for Instagram. T.I. and T.I. And Tiny were supposed to be the southern version of Jay-Z and Beyoncé, minus the flawless PR team and plus a few reality TV meltdowns. They built an empire together. Music, reality shows, business deals, kids, you name it, they branded it. But behind the matching outfits and carefully filtered photos was a love story hanging. Together with duct tape and denial, insiders say things. Between them had been rocky for months, maybe even years before this so-called secret wedding exploded online. The kind of rocky that no couples counseling could fix. Especially when both parties had been accused of everything from infidelity to entanglements that make August Alsina blush. I was out here giving relationship advice like he was the Southern Steve Harvey, while Tiny was quietly plotting her next move. And trust me, she didn't miss a single step. Then came the leak. It started small, a few mysterious photos on social media showing Tiny in what looked suspiciously like a bridal gown. At first, people brushed it off. That's old, they said. Maybe it's for a music video, they said. But when one fan zoomed in and noticed a new ring on her finger, one that wasn't her wedding ring from T.I., that's when the internet exploded. Within hours, hashtags like #TinyWedding, #TNTears, and #AtlantaAIN single quotes to ready started trending. The plot thickened when an alleged guest from the ceremony came forward, claiming that Tiny's wedding wasn't just real, it was private, intentional, and nowhere near T.I., according to this so-called guest. Tiny didn't marry for love, she married for freedom. Freedom from years of public embarrassment, manipulation, rumors, and endless tabloid gossip. One source claims she told friends, "I'm done living for his legacy. It's time for mine." Ouch. That's not just a dagger to the ego. That's a full sword through T.I.'s public image. And let's be clear, this isn't some small-town drama. This is T.I. and Tiny, hip-hop royalty. The couple who had cameras following them for years on T.I. and Tiny, the family hustle. The couple that turned chaos into ratings. So when news broke that Tiny had allegedly tied the knot without her longtime husband knowing, fans didn't believe it until the receipts hit. Leaked screenshots surfaced from private group chats, showing guests congratulating Tiny for finally doing what's best for you. There were whispers about an R&B singer being at the center of it all. Someone well-known but low-key. As one insider put it, suddenly, this wasn't just a secret wedding. It was a revenge ceremony. Now, you might think T.I., being the outspoken, chest-thumping alpha male he's known to be, would stay silent and handle things privately. Oh no! This man went live faster than a Gen Z influencer after a breakup. In a shaky video filled with sighs, pacing, and too many you gotta understand. Man moments, T.I. appeared devastated. He talked about betrayal, respect, And what happens when people forget who held them down? Translation: he was hurt. Deeply, and the internet feasted on every second. Fans were split. Some were like, that's karma. Others said, nah, Tiny took it too far. But one thing everyone agreed on: this was no ordinary breakup. This was war disguised as heartbreak. The memes came instantly. One showed T.I. crying with the caption, "Should've," expeditiously fixed it. Another had Tiny in a wedding dress with the words "Miss Independent Remix." Even celebrities started chiming in, some out of sympathy, others out of sheer entertainment. One Atlanta rapper tweeted, "Man, T, I got hit harder than a tax audit." While a love and hip-hop star wrote, "Tiny said hustle solo this time." But what made this leak even juicier was the timing. Right before this scandal, T.I. had been doing press tours bragging about his family's unity, even saying that loyalty runs deep in the Harris household. Meanwhile, Tiny was quietly deleting pictures, unfollowing accounts, and curating what fans now call the soft launch of freedom. Then, the biggest bomb dropped: a blurry video clip from what appeared to be the wedding reception. You could hear a woman's voice in the background, sounding a lot like Tiny's, saying, "Here's to new beginnings and no more lies." The crowd cheered, and someone off-camera yelled, "You deserve it." That clip spread faster than wildfire, hitting every gossip page from the Shade Room to Hollywood Unlocked within hours. By morning, T.I.'s team released a statement claiming the video was doctored and taken out of context. But in the court of social media, denial means guilt. The memes doubled, the comments tripled, and Tiny, she stayed silent, which only made it worse. Because in the influencer era, silence isn't peace, it's power. Rumors flew that Tiny's secret husband was someone connected to the music industry, possibly even an old flame. Another rumor said it was all staged, a PR move to promote a new show or single. But fans weren't buying it. They said the emotion was too raw, the pain too real, and the tears in T.I.'s eyes too unfiltered to be a setup. The internet detectives dug deeper, pulling up old interviews where T.I. talked about testing loyalty and needing a woman who understands his grind. People began posting side-by-side clips, one of T.I. saying, "Tiny, my ride or die," and another of Tiny at what looked like a wedding toast, smiling like a woman who'd finally taken back control of her story in less than 24 hours. What began as whispers turned into a full-blown media frenzy. Headlines screamed, "Tiny moves on while T.I. breaks down Atlanta royalty in ruins." And was this marriage ever real? It became the ultimate digital autopsy, the slow, public dissection of a power couple who thought they were untouchable. And the irony: the same people who once rooted for their comeback were now gossiping about their downfall, sipping tea with hashtags and filters. Because in 2025, privacy isn't real, it's content. And Tiny's secret wedding, it just became the biggest episode of their reality show that was never supposed to air. But, we're just getting started, because what came after the leak made this look like the calm before the hurricane. If the leak was the earthquake, the aftermath was the tsunami. The next 48 hours after Tiny's secret wedding hit, the internet looked like a cultural meltdown. Atlanta went silent for about 2 seconds, then collectively lost its mind. Every blog, every gossip page, every Twitter space, every Shade Room comment section turned into an open trial where the court of public opinion had one mission: to roast T.I. and dissect Tiny's motives like it was the season finale of Power. First came the celebrity reactions. Candy Boris, bless her diplomatic heart, tried to play it safe, posting, sending love to everyone involved. Translation: I'm not getting dragged into this mess. But then Tamar Braxton jumped in with her classic unfiltered energy, writing, "Tiny been tired. Y'all just catching up." The comment section exploded like popcorn in a microwave. You had Team Tiny screaming she deserves happiness, and Team T.I. arguing she broke that man's soul on purpose. Meanwhile, T.I.'s old interviews about how women should act in relationships were resurfacing. And let's just say they aged like unrefrigerated milk. They aged like unrefrigerated milk. Social media became a war zone. One viral tweet read, "T.I. spent years expeditiously policing women's bodies just to get left for peace and quiet." Another user joked, "Tiny went from 'you can have whatever you like' to 'you can keep your ego. I'm good.'" It was savage, it was hilarious, and it was pure internet gold. Even hip-hop forums got involved. One Reddit thread turned into a 900-comment debate over who really held the power in their marriage. Some said T.I. controlled the narrative for too long. Others argued Tiny finally flipped the script, and in true reality TV fashion, did it with style. A leaked close-up of her new ring became the centerpiece of every gossip thumbnail. People zoomed in, analyzed the design, and started rumors that it had hidden meaning, allegedly symbolizing freedom, rebirth, and, according to one chaotic TikToker, divine feminine revenge energy. But the most jaw-dropping twist, T.I.'s own friends started posting cryptic messages that made things 10 times worse. One longtime associate wrote, "Sometimes you don't realize how cold the world is until the person sleeping next to you puts on gloves." Other posted, "Never thought I'd see the king humbled by his own queen." The comments were ruthless, and fans started speculating that T.I.'s inner circle was turning against him. Then, as if things couldn't get messier, a leaked DM surfaced allegedly showing T.I. trying to reach out to Tiny through mutual friends, begging to meet off camera, no press. Whether it was real or AI generated didn't even matter. The internet treated it like gospel. The memes wrote themselves. One popular edit had T.I. photoshopped into the crying Jordan meme wearing a crown, with the caption, "The king lost his kingdom." While all this digital chaos was unfolding, Tiny was out here doing the most subtle power move possible. She changed her profile picture to a simple photo of her hand, the ring in full view, captioned with a single white heart emoji. No words, no explanations. Just energy. Fans called it the quietest mic drop in celebrity history. But then, boom, another twist hit. A gossip blogger claimed to have exclusive footage of the actual ceremony, promising to release it at midnight. The internet went into countdown mode like it was New Year's Eve when the clip finally dropped. It showed Tiny walking down an aisle surrounded by candles, smiling like a woman who had finally escaped a lifetime subscription to chaos. The groom's face was blurred, but the vibe was unmistakable. This wasn't a music video. This was real tea. I didn't speak publicly that night, but fans noticed something chilling. He deleted over 100 posts from his Instagram, including years' worth of family photos. The message was loud and clear: damage control mode activated. But you can't delete the internet, and you definitely can't delete humiliation. The screenshots were already immortalized by the next morning. Every talk show from The Breakfast Club to Hollywood Unlocked was dissecting the scandal. Charlemagne thought God called it one of the coldest plot twists in hip-hop marriage history. Jason Lee said, "Tiny just flipped the power dynamic in one silent move." Even Wendy Williams fan pages came out of retirement to comment, and that's when the rumors about a hidden agenda began. Some sources claim Tiny's new marriage was actually a symbolic move, that she never filed paperwork, that it was a spiritual ceremony meant to close a chapter. Others swore it was legal and binding, and that T.I. found out the same way the rest of us did through Twitter. Either way, the man who once rapped about controlling the streets now looked like he couldn't even control the narrative. T.I. tried to fight back, the only way he knew how, through music. Out of nowhere, a snippet leaked from what fans think was his emotional new track titled "Expeditiously Over." The lyrics, brutal. He rapped, "Built a house on loyalty. She left me with the lease. Thought I was king forever. Now I'm begging for peace." The internet lost its collective mind. Half of Twitter called it a masterpiece. The other half said, "Sir, go to therapy." Meanwhile, Tiny was glowing, literally. She posted a video with friends laughing at dinner, captioned, "Peace looks good on me." It was like watching a live-action revenge movie where the hero wins without saying a word. Paparazzi caught her stepping out in designer shades and a white outfit. Symbolism, much. The tabloids titled it The Bride of Freedom. But behind the glitz and gossip, there were real consequences brewing. Endorsement deals that once flocked to T.I. started quietly backing away. Brands don't like controversy unless they can profit from it. Interviews were canceled, podcasts paused. One entertainment insider claimed T.I.'s PR team is working overtime trying to spin this as a misunderstanding. But it's too late, the internet already made up its mind. And that's the cruel beauty of 2025's cancel culture circus. You don't need facts. Just a viral moment. One blurred video, one broken man, one silent woman, boom. Reputation obliterated. The power of narrative belongs to whoever posts first. But perhaps the wildest part of this entire scandal wasn't even the wedding itself. It was how normal people started treating it like a morality play. Couples were arguing in comment sections. Podcasts were hosting relationship debates. One viral TikTok even had a preacher shouting, "Let this be a lesson, brothers, if you play games. God will RSVP to your downfall." By the end of the week, Tiny's follower count skyrocketed. T.I.'s numbers dipped. Gossip channels made thousands in ad revenue breaking down every second of that leaked clip. And through it all, one haunting question lingered in every headline. Every comment, every meme was this karma or cold strategy. Tiny's silence had become her weapon. T.I.'s emotions had become his undoing. And as the smoke cleared, one thing became brutally obvious. This wasn't just the end of a relationship. This was the public execution of a brand. But the story doesn't stop there. It's because just when everyone thought T.I. was down for the count, he did something nobody expected. Something that turned pity into pure chaos and flipped the narrative. One more time, just when everyone had written T.I. off as the newest meme of the month, the man staged what can only be described as the expeditious resurrection. Days after drowning in public humiliation, T.I. came storming back into the spotlight like a rapper-possessed part preacher, part philosopher, part heartbroken ex who'd just discovered what soft life means. He went live again, this time with better lighting, a full speech, and an energy that screamed, "I might have lost the woman, but I'm keeping the spotlight." The live stream began with him pacing in his mansion, eyes red, voice steady, dressed like he was about to deliver a TED Talk titled "How to Lose Your Wife in 10 Easy Lies." He started with, "I ain't gonna lie to y'all, this situation done humbled me." The chat went insane. Over 100,000 people tuned in instantly, ready for emotional damage and internet gold. And he gave it to them. "You can give someone the world," he said, "but if they want peace, your empire feel like prison." Boom, quote of the year. Every gossip page reposted it within minutes. Captions ready. T.I. speaks his truth after Tiny's secret wedding. But not everyone bought the redemption arc. Some said it was calculated. Others said it was classic narcissism dressed as self-reflection. Either way, the views skyrocketed. Within hours, #TLive was trending. And you know what? That's when Tiny finally broke her silence. Not through a post, not through a press release, through a single, punching line dropped in a live comment. "Sometimes peace looks like letting go of the king." The internet froze. You could practically hear the collective gasp echoing through every phone screen. T.I. paused mid-sentence. He saw it, he read it. He blinked 3 times, like his brain was buffering. The chat exploded. She said, "What? Oh, she in the chat." Bro, she ended him live. That one comment was the digital equivalent of flipping a table in the middle of a royal dinner. Within seconds, fan pages were screen recording it, slowing it down, zooming in on the username just to prove it was real. Tiny had officially entered the chat and exited the marriage. Permanently, after that, the fallout was unstoppable. T.I. tried to pivot, talking about growth, healing, and moving forward, but nobody cared. They were too busy dissecting Tiny's words like scholars analyzing ancient scripture. One fan commented, "That line belongs in a history book." Another wrote, "This woman just performed emotional poetry live." Tiny didn't need a PR statement. She had timing, precision, and the kind of control that comes from years of silence and observation. Years of silence and observation. By week 2, the industry had picked sides. Some of T.I.'s former collaborators went ghost, while others tried to stay neutral. Rick Ross posted, "Every king need a castle, but every queen need peace." Beyoncé's fan accounts turned the situation into empowerment memes. Even 50 Cent jumped in, posting a meme of T.I. holding a bouquet with the caption, "Man, she done played Uno and threw down the draw for of pain." The internet couldn't stop laughing. Meanwhile, rumors swirled about who Tiny had actually married. One blog claimed it was an old flame, someone from her early music days before fame. Someone who never chased clout, just her heart. Another theory said it was a symbolic gesture, a way to close the chapter spiritually without legal strings. But regardless of the truth, Tiny was being painted as the new face of self-liberation. She became the internet's unofficial patron saint of "I'm done." T.I., on the other hand, went from relationship goals to cautionary tale. People dug up every old clip where he'd talked about controlling relationships, every misogynistic lyric, every podcast soundbite. It became a digital montage of irony. One viral TikTok played his old, quote, "men lead." Women follow right before showing Tiny walking down that aisle alone, smiling. The caption, "Plot twist. She led herself to freedom." It's the thing about public image. It's fragile. You can spend decades building it, and one scandal can turn it to dust faster than an AI rumor. T.I.'s empire wasn't just about music. It was about dominance, family, and that old-school narrative of manhood. But when Tiny flipped the script, she didn't just end a marriage, she ended a myth still. In true T.I. fashion, he tried to spin it. Within days, he was on Drink Champs, talking about learning lessons and finding purpose through pain. He dropped phrases like universal balance and energetic accountability, words no one knew he even had in his vocabulary. Nor just nodded like, "Yeah, bro, that's deep," while the audience at home typed, "Bro's still in shock." The interview became a meme goldmine. One clip of T.I. saying, "Maybe I was too expeditious with my expectations," got millions of views. But deep down, fans could see it. The man was broken. Every smile looked forced, every joke fell flat. The internet thrives on schadenfreude, the joy of watching the mighty fall, and T.I. had become its latest tragic king. Tiny, meanwhile, was glowing up like never before. She announced a new docu-series called Peace Over Pain, rumored to include behind-the-scenes footage of her journey. The tagline, "Every queen's crown gets heavy until she learns to hold it herself." Of course, that announcement sent fans into another frenzy. People speculated whether T.I. would be featured, the wedding footage would appear, and whether this was all part of a bigger media plan. But even if it was, it worked. Tiny's name was everywhere. Her follower count hit record highs. She had turned her heartbreak into a storyline. And in today's world, that's the most powerful move there is. By the third week, T.I. disappeared from social media. No lives, no tweets, no cryptic quotes, nothing. Just silence. And in the loud world of celebrity drama, silence speaks volumes. Some fans said he was seeking therapy. Others claimed he was plotting a comeback track titled The King's Lament. Whatever he was doing, the damage was already permanent. The man who once ruled Atlanta's rap scene now found himself dethroned. Not by rivals, not by scandals, but by the woman he underestimated. And that's what made this saga so poetic. Because Tiny didn't yell, didn't rant, didn't play victim. She simply chose herself, and the internet crowned her for it. It was empowerment wrapped in elegance, revenge disguised as self-love. And he became the lesson, the living proof that Arrogance and love don't mix well in the age of receipts and screenshots. By the time the dust settled, everyone had learned something. Tiny learned silence can be louder than speeches. T.I. learned fame can't save your heart. And the public learned that when love dies in the spotlight, the funeral becomes a content opportunity. Still, somewhere deep in Atlanta, under the glitter and gossip, there's probably a part of T.I. hoping this was all a bad dream, that one day the headlines will fade, and he'll be remembered for his music, not his meltdown. But the internet never forgets. And in this era, every fall becomes entertainment. Because, let's be honest, we didn't just watch a breakup. We watched a royal collapse. And the crown didn't fall. It was passed quietly to the queen, who finally said, "I'm done playing small." And just like that, the king's image crumbled. The queen rose, and Atlanta gained a new legend. But don't scroll away yet, because what Tiny did next turned this from heartbreak into history. And there you have it. The empire has fallen. The crown has cracked. And the queen just walked off into the sunset wearing peace-like designer couture. T.I.'s breakdown wasn't just a viral moment. It was a masterclass in public karma. One secret wedding, and boom, 20 years of image management evaporated faster than a rapper's apology tour. But the real question now is, was this love, revenge, or the most genius PR play Atlanta's ever seen? Because, let's be honest, if this was scripted, Hollywood could never write it this good. But don't take our word for it. Drop your thoughts below. Was Tiny wrong for keeping it secret? Or was T.I. finally served a plate of his own expeditious lessons? Sound off in the comments, because we read everything like it's court evidence. And if you think this scandal was wild, just wait. Tomorrow's drama might make this look like preschool heartbreak. Around here, secrets don't stay buried. They trend. So smash that like button like it owes you child support. Hit subscribe so you never miss the next digital disaster. And turn on notifications, because in this world, one unfollow can start a war. We've got more scandals, leaks, and emotional train wrecks coming faster than T.I. deleting his Instagram posts. You already know this is where truth meets tea and every exclusive source gets exposed. Until next time, this is Expose Express, where we don't spill tea, we pour it boiling hot.